Hey guys, this is Nervire. This is the night before the launch of the league, and I just wanted to make a quick video on my league starter. And as you can probably guess by the look of the character, we are going Blood Mage. This is the PoB. I'll include this in the description. In this PoB, I've included trees for 6 stages of character development: early tree, a Cruel Lab pre-cluster, a Merc Lab pre-cluster, full tree, no clusters, which we look to get after we get our Uber Lab, and then of course swapping into 1 cluster into cluster. And I'll probably be updating this pretty consistently as the league continues, because as of right now, Path of Building doesn't support the new skills just yet. I haven't like enabled them via the file modifications or anything. I was just putting out like the basics of the build, like defensively. This is going to be a low-life Glancing Blows Max Block Exsanguinate Scion. I know league starting as a character that is a new skill is generally not recommended, but I feel like I have enough experience making really wonky things work on league start that it will be just fine. In this PoB, in addition to the multiple trees for various stages of the character's development, I've also included a gear set based around budget. It's just like things you would expect to get on league launch, and I've also included some example endgame crafts that we're going to look to achieve. I know some of these items look to be pretty unachievable in the current state of crafting, but going into next week, I'll make an update video explaining how to craft most of the stuff. Should be not too hard. The wand, wand might be a problem. Body armor might be a problem, but other than that, some notable things to keep a lookout for if you do want to play a build like this. We'll be using Glorious Vanity for hybrid. I feel like hybrid is the best way of going about sustaining the odd kind of like damage mitigation thing of Petrified Blood. Let's go ahead and go to our cluster endgame tree here. You see over here on the left side that we have 4.9k life and 2.5k ES, and the way that this ends up rounding is once we've reserved our life, we'll have just a little bit under 2.5k life, 2.5k ES, so 5k HP basically, and then various layers of mitigation, max block, corrupted soul, the actual, petrified blood mechanic, and then various other sources of mitigation, say like fortify if we fit in shield charge, and that should help the character feel relatively tanky. As far as the ascendancies go, we are gladiator for bleed and block, occultist to start off with for the extra curse. Once you do craft an extra curse chest, you'll swap over to necromancer, get bone offering for recovery, and that'll be like an extra layer of defense. And then like pathing's pretty self-explanatory. Life, duration, damage. Cluster jewels are going to be the majority of our damage for this build. There's not like a lot of fizz dot on the tree, or just like a fizz dot caster, and we're not scaling hit damage all that much, so we're going to make sure we get dot clusters. Now, PoB doesn't support the new cluster notables yet, so I just have the classic Brush with Death, Exposure with Therapy that I like. But once we get the new one, we'll have a 10% more dot multi on each one of these clusters. We'll have 28% on each medium cluster, which is pretty good. And as for like larges, you could go either spell damage or physical damage. Doesn't matter. Spell damage is just a bit more defensive, and I need some spell blocks, so we went spell damage. Then of course we take the witch start. You'll notice that before I swap into my second cluster, I path through spell damage and life, and this is just to, get a little bit of extra damage for the pathing. Once I do, however, get the second cluster set up, we drop all this and we drop a few nodes over here, so we can get a ton more damage. And yeah, that's the passive tree. And then skills, I've included links for everything here. Also under notes, I've included some notes about the start of the game, what to expect, some notable problems that I've foreseen with the build, such as like, support gem suggestions, suggestions for like leveling Scion, notes about pain attunement, and then this interesting little mechanical interaction that I've theorized will work. Since what is it? What's it called? Corrupting Fever. Since Corrupting Fever applies Corrupting Blood on spell hit, or hit, I guess you should say, we're going to be using Void Sphere for most of our clearing. Void Sphere, and then just, Exsanguinate whenever we need actual single target damage. And Void Sphere with Second Wind should result in some really, really good clear. We'll have AoE, quick application of our corrupting stacks, and then corpse consumption on kill, which will be good. And the other thing that's nice about that too is like on bosses, like Exsanguinate has like a really slow cast time. It's 0.8, 0.8. So we're going to want to be able to stack up our corrupting blood faster, and Void Sphere is just going to allow that. Notes here down at the bottom about where to get all the new skill gems, what quests to go, and then some notes about like the first 4 acts, because I feel like the start of the character is probably going to be one of the hardest parts, especially with like a archetype that we haven't really tested or know anything about before. Yeah, just some, you know, just some help. If you have any questions about the build, feel free to head on over to my Discord. Now, I'm not going to be streaming this league, at least at the start of it. I'm still waiting on some stuff to come in so I can fix my computer. It's still struggling just a little bit. But if you need help or have any questions about the build, head on over here to build discussion and just at me there, and we'll try to get it figured out. Like I said, I will be posting updates on both the PoB as soon as I know more information, and then like crafting for the character and whatnot as we go into the league. But yeah, I don't really recommend anybody start Exsanguinate Scion, Max Block, Corrupting Blood. But if you want to, I hope this is at least some information and some resources that will help you make a decision as to whether or not you want this to be your starter. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good league start. I hope you have a fun league, and I'll see you next week.